Are cooking with Chef David from the Buster Brown Bean Company, and of course he brings my little treat on Monday morning.
Lots of little treats. In fact, I know that every woman, well, almost everyone loves to receive jewelry, so I actually bought you something special.
Is it real emeralds? Oh, look at that.
Of course it is. Just real emeralds and jade just for you.
What is he saying to me?
Absolutely. I want to make sure that you enjoy yourself while I'm here, Victoria.
You always do, and I always do. We are making beef with stout.
Yeah, beef and stout. And of course, as you guys know, I'm Mr. Go Local, Shop Local, Stay Local.
Love that.
So we're going to be using a Southern Tier. It's a 2X milk stout. It actually has lactose sugars in it.
What does that mean?
Well, it's comparable to a Guinness, basically. Oh. And there's this general creaminess to this. If you're not, I typically would not go for like a Guinness, but I'll drink this. To me, it's just so palatable. Oh, we will. Don't you worry.
I got my cup.
Yeah, you got your drinking cup.
Okay, so some of the ingredients that folks are going to need, and you're already starting mixing up.
What we're going to do is dredge our beef, which is just like a chuck, or you can use like chunks of beef that you buy from the store that are already pre-chunked for like stew. Okay. And we're going to toss those in flour and salt and pepper. And when we come back for our next segment, what we're going to be doing is adding everything else. You need Worcestershire sauce. There you go.
That's how I used to say that when I was kidding, when I was little.
You got to kind of
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. And you got some garlic, some fresh thyme, and some tomato paste.
What is this?
That is beef stock. It'll be that, and then we'll be adding our Southern Tier stout.
How long
to the mix.
Does this take? Because you had to make this simplified for us for the show.
I did kind of simplify. Well, I didn't simplify it. I just had to really make sure it was going to kind of fit into the whole show. But it is so worth it. The point to this dish is that the longest point in the process is the braising, which takes about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on your oven.
Braising means?
You're cooking it in a liquid, basically. So say you put a big hunk of meat in your pot, you're going to fill it about halfway with liquid. So we're going to be cooking this in the beef stock in the stout, and that's our braising liquid.
We'll crack open the stout in our next segment.
You and me.
You and me.
Taking off St. Patrick's Day week. I'm going green.
All right, me too. Maybe I'll see green. Right now we're going to send it into our newsroom, and our web producer, Emily Lenahan. People are
back. I'm here in the kitchen with Chef David from the Buster Brown Bean Company. Okay, we are making our beef and stout pie.
Yep, that's what we're doing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and add in our veggies.
Okay.
And we're really going to get this going. This is the quick part. This is right before we start doing that braising process I was talking with Victoria about. So basically we're going to add our mirepoix, our blend of basic veggies that give everything all of its flavor.
Get the good flavors in there.
Get the good flavors going.
So some garlic, onion.
And some tomato paste.
Ooh, yummy.
Right. And then we'll give this a stir through.
Okay.
And we're going to sweat these down with a little bit of water.
Okay.
It's about 3 tablespoons. We're going to deglaze the pan.
Right.
To get all those bits and pieces off the bottom, because that's the good stuff. Right there. And once this is cooking down, let me really get it going, we're going to add some beef stock.
Okay.
We are going to add our Southern Tier Brewery 2X Stout.
Yummy. About a cup?
Oh, well, here, if you'd like to try it.
Oh, well, I'll pretend I'm Victoria and have just a little sip.
Just a little sip. You have to when I'm here. It's your first time cooking with me. We have some rules to go over.
Oh, okay. Very yummy. Yeah, so, it's Guinnessy-ish.
Yeah. Now, we're going to add our beef back in, and then what we're going to do is make sure you get all the juices in. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera there. Make sure you get all the juices in.
Okay.
And then continue scraping the bottom. And then what we would do is cover it.
And how long?
About an hour to an hour and a half, depending on your oven. We're going to. I might have a logistical problem with that. Just go like this for now. You're going to want to cover yours. Mine wouldn't fit, but yeah.
And what
so about an hour, hour and a half.
On the oven?
You're going to put it in there about 350.
350.
And that's how the braising happens. Braising really, really tenderizes meat, and what we're going to do is end up with this. And so in our next segment, we're going to actually build our pie.
Build our pie. All right, that sounds great. We'll be back with you in a couple minutes. Now we're going to send things over to Victoria on the couch. Hey, Vic. It smells really great in here. So we're continuing to make our beef
and stout pie.
Perfect for St. Patrick's Day.
It is, it is. So basically what you were going to do after you pull that out, you're going to let that rest for about a half hour. You want it to come to about room temperature, because when you add your puff pastry to the top, you don't want it to be too hot, or else it'll actually melt it and it won't cook the way you want it to in the oven. And you'll see what I mean, but basically you're just going to divide this into 4, and I'm not doing an even 4 because I want to get a nice cover on top of our pie. So what we're going to do is put all this in. You're not going to want to fill the dishes all the way.
Okay.
Just going to go about like that. And
Now,
it's pretty
can you just get pre-made dough? If
This
you
is
didn't
exactly
wanna
what I'm using, and
Okay.
I think that, you know, when Joe and Victoria have cooked with me in the past, I'm big into saving a little bit of time and energy on
Right,
yourself.
right.
Everybody's really busy. I have 2 kids. I'm, you know, co-owner of a business. You know, I have 2 2-year-olds, so I'm busy.
Don't always
I
have
can't
time
always,
to
you
make
know,
your own dough.
puff pastry can literally take 12 to 13 hours or more to
Oh my
make if you make it
gosh.
from scratch. So basically, you just do that. You're going to cover it and press it to the sides
Okay.
and pop it in your oven. It's going to go in your oven at around 425 for 20 minutes. Then you're going to reduce to about 400 for another 5 minutes until you get a beautiful,
Oh my gosh.
puffy,
This is lovely.
yummy looking.
I'm gonna have a bite.
Yeah.
And we
You're
were
gonna-
also talking, you know, you're always talking
This is-
about stuff kind of in the southern tier or around Pennsylvania area. 2 great alcoholic beverages you have here today, we'll say that, right?
This particular wine that I'm pairing with this week, not necessarily pairing with it because of flavor per se, but more so because it's fun. Every year, Arrowhead Winery, they're part of our Chautauqua, it's actually the Lake Erie wine country. And a couple weeks ago, you guys came out and helped me do
Right,
them a
we
little
talked
favor
about it, yep.
by helping them out a little bit in promoting their wine country. But these guys are at the very southern tip. Every year they produce this wine. It's actually an apple wine, and it's made with real apple juice. And a lot of the wineries down there, when they make fruit-based wines, they use real fruit. And that's really important in the process, and it's important when you're putting it in your body, too, versus something that's been manufactured. Now, when people see it, they see this bright green thing, and they think, ooh, sour apple martini,
Right,
something to that
right,
effect.
right.
It's very, very pleasant, very smooth. Unfortunately, the wine opener went missing this morning, so we're not going to be tasting that unless someone finds it really soon. I think it's a conspiracy. One time my rolling pin went gone, and there you go. But the producers didn't want me to, they wanted me to go easy on you.
But folks can order this online.
They can, I believe they can order that online. They can call Arrowhead. Its well supplies last every year. This thing is so hugely popular, this wine. I'm not a sweet wine person. I find this wine to be very, very pleasant and very smooth. The very first sip I ever took of it absolutely surprised me
great.
because I was expecting that sour apple thing or something very, very sweet, and it was so smooth and delicious. And then, of course, our stout, which you tried. I'm going to encourage one more sip just in case you didn't quite get it all the way. It's a bit sweeter, you and I were talking
It would
about,
go
than
well
maybe
with
like a
that.
Guinness.
This
Yeah.
has great flavor. It's
Absolutely,
so rich and
yeah.
really comforting.
I would say it's very big on savory. If you've ever heard of that other sense, umami, it's full of
Yes.
umami,
Right.
which no one can ever really fully define for
Right,
anybody.
what
But
is that?
you're right along the lines of savory. There's tons of body and richness and flavor, and umami comes in so many different ways. In this particular case, you've reduced everything down inside there. You've concentrated the flavors. You've tenderized the meat with that braising liquid.
Is this going to be at the Buster Brown Brewing Company? Can folks go in
It
there and
will
get it?
for this weekend. I'll end up featuring that on the menu this weekend.
That's
yeah.
going to be great. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. So there's unami, right? Is that how you say?
Umami.
Okay, umami, savory, sweet.
Yeah,
And what's the other one? There's four,
salty.
right? Salty.
Salty, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
It's a
you
good thing
learned
I wasn't
something new
nervous
today.
and I actually.
Thank you so much, Chef David. I'm going to come back, talk about the weather, and then after that, we'll be back in the kitchen with Chef David for a wonderful second helping. Welcome back. We're back in the kitchen with Chef David. What are we making for our second helping? I don't even know.
We are making a sheared egg.
Okay.
Classically, this is a French style thing, of course. And usually when you shear an egg, it's in like it's in a liquid.
Okay.
It's kind of like poaching, but you're doing it in the oven,
okay.
and it's usually butter or cream.
Huh.
We're gonna take we're gonna take our leftover beef
Okay.
from our
You have
pot. I
any,
put it in
right?
here. I added some plain old tomato sauce
Okay.
from a jar, a little bit of salt and pepper, and stirred it through. And then what you do, is you take and you put this in your poaching dish. You're gonna put it in a little ramekin. We're gonna use
cool.
this as breakfast, almost like a steak and eggs
Neat.
type thing, right?
Yeah.
So then you pour your egg over this.
You don't want to break the yolk or
You don't want to
anything.
break the yolk, and then you just want to pop it in the oven.
This is so cool.
And I have a finished product for you here.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I'm going to give it a little try.
Sorry. Oh, absolutely. Now, what I would recommend is going onto the crusty bread.
Okay. I might skip the bread because I'm not...
Oh, you're not a carb girl?
No, I am a carb girl, but with a minute left, I don't know if
there
I'll
you
be
go,
able
yeah.
to get into it.
See, you want the yolk to remain runny
Oh my gosh,
the way you
this
see
is
there
good.
now. Yeah.
Seems like it's hot though.
It's going to be kind of hot, so just be careful. Please don't burn yourself. I don't want to hurt you the first time you're in the kitchen with me. Here.
That is so good, though. It's really, as it's all over my face, that's really good. Have you ever heard of that, Victoria?
Oh,
Victoria!
actually, it's kind of a
have to
breakfast
try
bowl, but
that.
yeah, definitely.
Just happen to have my board. And I will invite with the bread.
Now, if you didn't make the meat, you could still do something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
I said, because it's a shirred egg, and classically a shirred egg is done in the liquid, not necessarily with a ton of other things. But in the restaurant, this is a really great way. I mean, this can be used in so many different ways. Anybody can look this up on the internet and learn how to do it. You can take leftover pasta sauce, you can take leftover, like if you have like a white cheese sauce that you used, if you made your own bechamel and then made like a cheese sauce and made your own macaroni and cheese. I mean, you name it. You can do so many different types of shirred eggs, and it's a great little breakfast in the morning. You pair that,
light.
and it's
It is
impressive, I think.
Right.
It's pretty, it's impressive, it's got a great presentation. You can pair it with so many different things. You can pair it with champagne, a little bit of wine in the morning. I mean, Lord knows,
Cheers.
hair of the dog that
Some
bit
stout.
you. There, well, I don't.
Next time we're going to find that.
Thank you so
For a
much,
wine
Chef
opener,
David.
yeah.
Hey, with that, no more, speaking of macaroni and cheese, we're going to have Frog Hair tomorrow in the kitchen talking more about the mac and cheese competition. And we'll also ask where Frog Hair came from, the name.
Much
That's
more.
an interesting one.
That's
Yeah, right. See you tomorrow.